Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the thought of learning a new language, honestly, just take a deep breath right now. I've got you. Today, I'm going to be your guide through the absolute essentials of French. We're taking this step by step, building your confidence at a really patient, manageable pace. By the end of our time together, you are going to have mastered the fundamental building blocks, the alphabet, and numbers 0 through 20. But first, let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever totally frozen when someone asked you to spell your name in French? Or, maybe you tried to give someone your email address or your phone number, only to realize you sound like a completely clueless tourist? Listen, it is a highly relatable, deeply human moment of panic, but it really doesn't have to be that way. Grasping these simple foundations literally eliminates that anxiety. So, we've got a really straightforward roadmap for this. We'll start with why this foundation matters, tackle the alphabet and a few tricky sounds, count up to 20, learn the beautiful secret of French liaison, and then put it all into practice. Okay, let's dive right in. Why does this matter so much? Well, you literally cannot navigate daily life in a French-speaking environment without these basics. Whether you're booking a hotel, buying a croissant, confirming a reservation, or just introducing yourself, you need a survival toolkit. And the core of that toolkit is being able to confidently answer this exact question. Comment ça s'écrit? How do you spell that? Knowing your alphabet and numbers? That's handing you the keys to the city. Moving right along to the alphabet and those tricky sounds. Let's break this first half down into nice digestible chunks. I'm going to walk through these slowly, and I want you to feel free to just repeat right after me. A, b, b, s, say, d, d, e, f, g, ash, ash. Now, a quick aside, what's really interesting about ash is that it's entirely silent in French words. You're actually never going to pronounce it. I, j, k, l, m. Excellent. You're doing absolutely great. All right, let's conquer N through Z. N, O, P, pay, Q, R, air, S, T, tay, U, V, vey, W, W. Okay, that's a fun one, isn't it? It literally translates to double V instead of W, which makes total sense when you look at it. X, Y, Z, Z. Just by reading these off with me, you are already internalizing the rhythm of the language. But hey, we need to pause here for a second, because there is a classic trap you need to watch out for: the G and the J. In English, G has a hard sound and J is softer. Well, in French, it feels like they've completely swapped names. G is pronounced J and J is pronounced G. Honestly, whenever you need to spell your name, just write a little mental note to yourself if it contains a G or a J, because your brain is going to want to default straight back to English. There are two other tricky sounds we really need to demystify. First up, the French U. English speakers always struggle with this because the sound just doesn't exist in English. So let's turn it into a physical action. Step 1, shape your lips like you're about to say E. Got it? Now step 2, keep your lips frozen in that tight E shape, but try to say ooh from the inside of your mouth. Ooh, ooh. It's this tight, pursed sound. Also, don't forget the French R, pronounced air. It's guttural. It comes from the very back of your throat, kind of like a really soft gargle. Awesome. Now that we've got our letters, let's move on to counting from 0 to 10. These right here are your foundational numbers. Again, I'm going to say them clearly and leave a little space for you to repeat. 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7. Notice the T is totally silent here. 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. So here's a crucial point. French absolutely loves to play around with final consonants depending on the word that comes next. I just don't want you getting caught off guard when these numbers suddenly change their sound in a sentence. Take sunk, for example. The final Q is almost always pronounced like a hard K. But for 6 and 10, the X sounds like an S when you're just counting alone. But it magically changes to a Z sound if the next word starts with a vowel. Or it becomes totally silent if the next word starts with a consonant. The same kind of thing goes for wheat. You pronounce the T when counting by itself, but drop it completely if a consonant follows. Ready to level up? Let's build slightly larger pieces and count from 11 to 20. Just like in English, the numbers 11 through 16 have their own unique names that, well, you just have to memorize. Let's practice them together real quick. 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. The beautiful logic of French counting kicks in at 17. Instead of learning a brand new word, you just do simple math. 17 is 17, which is literally 10-7. 18 is 18, or 10-8. And 19 is 19, which is 10-9. It is incredibly straightforward and makes memorizing the late teens an absolute breeze. And that brings us to our absolute ceiling for this explainer, the number 20, which is 20. The V and the T at the end, completely silent, just 20. We are going to stop strictly right here today, because honestly, mastering 0 to 20 flawlessly is so much better than stumbling your way through 1 to 100. All right, let's talk about the art of liaison. This right here is the magical secret sauce of the French language. Have you ever wondered why spoken French sounds so incredibly fluid and connected? Like it's just one long, beautiful song? It's all because of liaison. When a number ends in a consonant and the word immediately following it starts with a vowel, the French just link them together to create a super smooth sound. So deux, an ami, becomes deux amis. Trois, un enfant, becomes trois enfants. Six and heures becomes six heures. You just carry that consonant right over to the vowel. It's a real game changer once you get the hang of it. Okay, time for the fun part. Let's put it all together. Imagine we're stacking all these pieces into a real-world scenario you might actually encounter at a cafe in Paris. Let's deconstruct this little dialogue. Person A asks, "Quel est votre numéro de téléphone?" What is your phone number? Now, native speakers in France read phone numbers in pairs. So if your number was 06 12 15 2018, there is no way they'd say 0612. They say 06 12 15 20 18. Do you see how beautifully our foundational numbers stack together there? But let's be totally real for a second. At first, those numbers are going to fly by way too fast for you to catch. When that happens, do not panic. Just use these crucial, authentic survival phrases. Plus lentement, s'il vous plaît. More slowly, please. Or simply, je ne comprends pas. I don't understand. French speakers actually really appreciate the effort, and asking them to just slow down is perfectly fine. So here is my takeaway challenge for you. Right after this explainer, I want you to go to YouTube and search French numbers 120 native speaker. Better yet, try to find a French children's channel. Listen to how the native speakers say it and just repeat right along with them. Test your ear. Can you hear the silent letters? Can you catch those smooth liaisons we talked about? Keep practicing to bring these foundational blocks to life. Because once you master spelling your name and giving your phone number, a whole new world of conversation opens up for you. So the very next time someone in a Parisian cafe asks you, "Comment ça s'écrit?" how are you going to answer them?